Oh my gosh, you guys. So, I just went to go play back my live and I see that you couldn't hear me. And let me just say, it was really good. I mean, I just shared a lot of good information and can't even hear it. So, hopefully, this one will be better. So, take two. My apologies. I usually check my mic before I go on, but I just didn't because I was feeling so confident that it was going to work. Oh well, first time for everything, right? Hey, how you doing? Happy Friday. I just wanted to stop by and say hi and share a couple of reflections with you. It's a rainy day here in Portland, and I was just gonna get out to see if I could get for go for a walk between some clouds, some cloud breaks. So hopefully that withstands for a little bit, so I can get out and enjoy the day for a walk. So today's live I entitled Getting to Know You. Because, after so many years of my life and my spiritual journey, my self-healing journey, whatever you want to call it, I don't like to use um, the word spiritual because it kind of excludes people that aren't spiritual. And as far as I'm concerned, in my experience, all of us that have life in a body, that's the definition of spirit. Spirito is the breath of life. Every world tradition has a name for it: spirit, prana, chi, the Holy Spirit. And I think it really does a disservice when people categorize it and like put it into like an institution or a religion, because it's just our human birthright. And so that really messes up our perception of our connection to source. And it's not through any outside foundation, although those can be good. I'm not here to poo any organized religion or practice. If it makes you feel more enlivened and supports you, then I support you, you know. But it's just that as we do this work of this awakening, and I say awakening because it is a realization of oneself, to understand that consciousness cannot be reduced down to a label or a category or a character or a personality. That's like the ego construct. And my experience has been that our ego constructs are a product of the mirrors around us as we're growing up. So we come into this world and we're this like huge unbounded spirit, and then there's people around us that have already been conditioned into society who are our mirrors, and they begin reflecting back to us who they think we are, not actually who we are. And sometimes I don't even like to use the phrase, who we are, because it's really what we are, you know, the extent of what we are. And we're not just somebody's reflection of who they say that we can be because of their own conditioning, their own wounding, their own limitations, their own sadness or grief or whatever that they're reacting to in their life. And so, you know, I'll tell you, I am so thankful. And I don't even know if that's the right word. It was just kind of it naturally came into my life to begin a meditation practice some 20 years ago. And so I'm thankful that it came into my life. At the same time, I realized that I helped create the situation for it to show up in my life. And it was through that practice that I began to build that internal muscle to look within. And it became normalized, like a normal aspect of my existence, to become self-reflective, to observe the constructs, the mental constructs, the personality constructs that were ruling my life unconsciously. And so, through my own journey, through working with other people, through their journeys, just through every day, every single day, we have an opportunity to see people working inside of their ego, and using that construct as identification. But as Patanjali said, and the Buddhists and probably many, many other traditions have said, that if something is changeable, then it's not real. It's not the truth, because the truth never changes. And it used to be that, people used to go sit in a cave for 40 years to break down that conditioning, to turn within. And I'm not saying that anything's the matter with that. I've been on several silent retreats, not for 40 years, maybe a month or two. But I can imagine the power of taking that time to turn within, to witness the magnificent expanse of consciousness, which is you. And it is in the silence, right? It is in the silence in which it speaks. It's supernatural because it's nature. And it's just who we are. So when I say that we're awakening to our own nature that is beyond, as I mentioned, constructs and ideas. And so the question is, the title of today's live is Getting to Know You, getting to know all about you. And to this day, I'm still a mystery to myself. There's still more layers to dig down into. And this can be scary for a lot of people because maybe they haven't had a regular practice of meditation or a contemplative practice of looking within. And, a lot of people haven't, so they minimize it. They write it off, sometimes dismiss it as unimportant or not real. But the more that I do this work, the more that I share this work, I realize that is the most real thing under everything else. And it's been flip-flopped. So our attention is always looking outside. And it's like, wow, that was a good camouflage. Okay, it's a good camouflage. Unless people are in enough pain or taken to their knees, usually that's one of the rare times people stop to go, okay, I don't get it. Can you help me here? Like, what's going on? And so they turn within and they begin to look and they begin to search and they begin to question. And I do believe right now it's an accelerated time. Like, people don't have to go sit in a cave anymore for 40 years. I'm not saying that you can't or that you shouldn't. I'm just saying the opportunity, the energy on the planet has shifted to where this work is happening at a more accelerated pace. And you look around the world and there's a narrative going on, many narratives that are conflicting and seem chaotic. And, people are feeling anxious, many people, and upset and out of control and, facing uncertainty. And all of that energy that it takes to invest in that narrative distracts us from what's underneath it. And it all has to fall apart, right? As they say, the seed has to destroy itself in order to grow. All of our social systems, all of our societal systems, our sense of self, right? So I say this is like the evolution of the self is happening right now. Like how people perceive what a self is. And that's really what I come in as a integrative self-awareness coach. It's updating. It's like having an update for your phone, except for it's our consciousness. We're updating our sense of self, so we can start functioning at a level that's required in order to make this cross this bridge of human evolution together. And so it's like the Wicked Witch of the West, right? They throw um, the holy water on her, right? The water of truth. And she shrivels up and dies and melts away, because when you shine the light of truth,